Hey, welcome to another Dangent. I am Dan, the Board Game Man, or Geek Jock from the Geek All Stars podcast, and we're going to be looking at Brass Empire from Rock Manor Games, and be played here on our Game Toppers Game Topper with the game mat, the Cobalt Blue game mat. This is a 1 to 5 player game, plays in about an hour by Mike Nade and Rock Manor Games. This is kind of one of them 1 hour wonders. So I'm going to be playing this one solo. So let's see how it plays. Okay, here's a setup for the solo game. It's kind of the basic setup here. Now, Brass Empire is your kind of basic deck building game. You're going to start off with 10 basic cards, and they're pretty easy basic cards, and I'll tell you what everything means in just a minute. So here you have your construction, you have your labor, and your construction here. You've got 10 cards. You're going to have 7 clerks, which just give you the 1 labor, and the 3 union workers. Now, you'll have 10 of those to start. I'm going to refer to Ascension a lot. Ascension is kind of your basic deck build that it kind of took this on. This game is about 8 or 9 years old, so right around the height of Ascension, and this kind of reminds me a lot of it. So if you look at the cards, we'll show you a card that can be purchased, because down here, you've got kind of the unit row, the unit and building row, and then up top you have the employee row. Now, these cards, they can be bought. You have your price of what the card is, your name, what they do when you do play them, and basically the brass cost. Now that'll come into victory points at the end, and in the solo game, it'll also come in when you destroy things that the AI has. You'll get some brass from it. Now brass is your kind of victory points. You see here 5 and 1. In the solo game, you're going to be playing to 40, just like Ascension, where you've got a pool of victory points, and once they're depleted, that signals the end game. Now let's look at a building and a unit. These ones, this bottom one here, this bottom row is what will stay in play once they do. So when you acquire a card from playing your cards and then acquire a card, it'll go into your discard pile, and then when they come up again, you can then play them. Now units and buildings will come into play and stay in play. Now buildings will come in kind of down, unconstructed, and then your next turn, you'll flip them over and they're ready to go. On the bottom, they'll basically have your attack and health right down there. Same thing with the units. Now, you're going to have the buildings, which will have things like once per turn here, gain a labor, a construction, and a brass. And then it's also, again, you got your cost up there. And usually the units, will be a little bit more expensive, the units and the buildings, where they'll have the 2 costs a little bit higher. And then the units here, again, 3 and 3. Now, unlike Magic the Gathering, where things heal, we've got some dice here to show when things get hurt, because the damage will continue over. Now, through the game, you're going to be playing cards, getting them into your discard pile, and then shuffling your cards up when you need to draw, and then you'll get them out and have like a tableau, and things to do is you're constantly adding and trying to get more brass. Then at the end of the game, you'll add up everything, all the points on the cards, and in your basically your brass pile here. Also, what you can do is you can turn excess construct into here, just kind of mining, another way of mining. But also, units will be able to mine as well. So here we've got this unit here. On its turn, you could either attack or mine. So if you're going to try to get either somebody else's buildings or their units out, you'll use this attack and health to get them out. Or you can mine for 3, which is their attack value, and basically get 3 brass for it. And what's also cool about this game is Brass Empire has kind of factions that you can play. You have your own faction deck. Now you'll have these 6 cards, which only you can get, and we'll kind of I'll keep them off to the side, that I'll be able to get them on my turn. Now it's also, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there's a green one over here that I'm actually going to use. And they'll have a little bit of theme that you can use here. So here you got these buildings, demolishing and doing direct damage. The vault is all kind of about direct damage. The Harlem Electric Employee, where you got the Volt Militia here, and the battery turbine from a Harlem Electric building. Then you've got the corporate ninjas from the Omni Edo Corp, where they are good about dismissing or basically trashing cards, so they thin out your deck. Here you've got the Frontier Rail employees. This corporation is more for kind of getting resources. And then here you've got the Woodcraft Enterprises. That's more about building, where you've got a lot of construction, about more building. What I'm going to be playing in this solo And the solo game that we're going to have here is going to be playing the McGlynn Clockwork. So they're kind of more about drawing cards and getting a lot more cards in your hands. So we'll keep this off to the side. There was another game, I think it was a 40K type game, a deck building game that came out about 10 years ago. It was kind of a mess. It was a hot mess where it really wasn't a great implementation. It needed a little more baking. It needed more play testing because it had a lot of potential. It just never really realized its potential. So, and also here's kind of the rule book. Not a very long rule book, written very well. Again, if you can see some comparisons, kind of the way it even looks here, the comparisons to kind of, like your Ascension gameplay. So in this solo game, I'm going to be playing against an AI who's going to be basically getting automatic points and also kind of grabbing cards automatically. It kind of ramps up. So the first few turns, it's just going to be getting some brass and stealing an employee, which is going to be the top row. And then as it gets to be more, it'll be getting one from the top and one from the bottom, as well as getting some brass. And then it'll keep getting, so it's got a score pile, and then it'll also have units that are out. As I'm able to get rid of the units, I'll be getting some brass from them as well. And you'll see that as we go. So again, you've got the two rows here, and then and then they kind of replenish here. In the solo game, we're going to be, as things are taken, we're going to replenish everything from left to right. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up right here. I've played a bunch of these different solos as far as this game solo, and I really enjoy it. A little bit difficult here at times. It all kind of depends. It's more of a puzzle because you're really looking at kind of the points that the AI is going to be getting, and then what other kind of units and such. So since the units can do some damage to you and also mine, you want to kind of take care of, you want to get that row taken care of. You want to kind of curate that row so the AI, what it's taking for free is something that's not too bad. So I'm done here shuffling. Let's get me some 5 cards to start with. And I'll kind of show you what I've got here, and I'll probably talk through there. So I've got 3 and 2, so I'm going to have 3 labor and 2 construct. And what do we have out there to buy? Probably going to start off with giving myself a little bit of, fortunately I can't get that, and the AI is going to get 4 points right off the bat, which is going to be hard for me, because those 4 points are going to be big in its final scoring pile. It's going to get that automatically. So I guess I'm going to grab this one over here, this manager instead of this one, because this manager is only worth 1 point. Next round, he'll get that. And maybe I'll get enough points to get this, but it's going to be hard for me to get at with being 5. So I'll get this 3, put that in my discard pile here. And for 2, I guess we can get this, and we'll shift this over here. I guess we'll get this stockpile, or actually, you know what? I'm going to grab a couple of Clockwork Factories, because what this is going to help me do is once they do get drawn, I can demolish them to draw a card, and then get a little bit of engine going that way. So that'll take that from my own faction here. So now it's the AI's turn. And at the start, if it has less than 7 brass, it's going to grab a brass. So it'll automatically grab a brass there. And then it's going to grab the first card in the line. I'll put this is kind of going to be their scoring pile off to the side here. Actually, I'll leave it over there. And then I'll move everything down 1 from left to right. And then that'll be it for the AI's turn. Nice and easy. So I'll grab my 5 cards here. So what I've got is 4 and 1. So I've got 4 labor and 1 construct. And let's see what we got here. So since I'm not sure, let's see. So I do have 4. Some good looking stuff out there. So I can't get any of these down here. There's 4 and 2. I don't have 2. That would have been useful. We'll start trying to get some constructs out. I'm going to grab this contractor for 2. That'll slide down a bit. And then I think I'm going to grab a manager for 2 as well. I'm sorry, that's for 3. I'm going to grab another contractor. I'm cheating already. So, and then for the 1, I will not grab anything else out of mine here. So I got the 2 and 2, and that's going to be everything there. And I will shuffle up on my turn. So as I said, the next turn for the AI, they will grab 1 brass because they have less than 7 brass. And then they're just going to grab this manager over here into their score pile. Now again, once they start getting more points, that's when it gets real. Once they get to 7, then they're going to start ramping up a bit. So I've got to do as much as I can before that. So now I've got a few more cards. We'll see what we got here. Finish shuffling. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so what we've got here is, so I do have one of these Clockworks Factory, which is a building. So that's going to come in face down, and I'll be able to use that next turn. Then we've got a whole lot of constructs. So I did get 2 of those contractors. So that's 5 construct and only 1 labor. Nothing up here that I want to grab. Unfortunately, I can't get that. The AI is going to get another 3 points here. But 5 construct is pretty powerful down here, but there's nothing huge down here for 5. And I can't even afford my barracks. So what I think I will do for the 1, I will get a gumshoe. I'll throw that in my discard pile. And then I guess for these 3, this is a unit, the Dapper Bodyguard. 3 and 3 is going to be pretty strong. It's going to help me out later. And also keeps it from the AI. So that was for, oh, and it's 3 and 3. I'm already cheating again. I'm going to put that back because that's worth 3 and 3. See all these things that I'm seeing him doing. All right, so we'll get the stockyard. So what this will do is while it's in play, when I do build it, anytime I mine, I'll get an additional brass from mining from my units. So that only cost me 2. I've got 3 left, and then I'll go ahead and grab this, the Surging Kamikaze. You may dismiss this unit at any time to destroy any building or unit, which is actually going to be pretty good. But dismissing it is going to be basically trashing it out of play. So we'll go ahead and put those out of play. The AI will get 1 more, so it's up to 3. It'll grab 3 more victory points, unfortunately. And we'll get this going here. So 5 more cards. And I will get this into play. So demolish is a little bit different than dismiss. So dismiss would be basically trashing something. Demolish is I throw it in my discard pile and it gets me a new card. But we'll see what we've got here. So I've got a manager. And I'm going to end up having 4 and 2. Now, if I'm close to something, I may demolish this. Let's see what we have here. So I do have the 4 and 2. That's actually pretty strong right there, a 2 and 4 unit. I think that's what we'll do. We'll go 4 and 2, and I'll grab this Chroniker, which is a 2-4 unit, and when it is destroyed, I draw a card. Now, I don't know how much the AI will be destroying things, but being that it is a good attacker and a good way to get me some mining, I want to get that one into play as well. So here we go. The AI will get another piece of brass, and it'll grab this one. It's only 1 victory point over here, so this is good. I got a nice little row of single victory point things for when the AI gets it. I don't really want the AI to get this Dapper Bodyguard because once that goes into play, it's going to be hard for me to get it out, and it's going to mine pretty much automatically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 cards coming, and then I'll have to shuffle after this. So we've got another Clockworks Factory. We'll put that face down. This is being built. And basically I'll have 4 to spend. Now, with 4 to spend, this is going to be a pretty good option here. The Railway Contractor, which will give me 2 construct and 1, and that'll get me to start getting some more things from the bottom. I want to get some more, being able to have it to, that means the construct to be able to construct these buildings and some more units, which is going to come in handy. And once again, we'll go here, we'll just put that as a 5 out here. And the AI will grab this manager into its score pile, and we'll flip that over. Okay, so we flip over my other Clockworks Factory, and we're getting to the point where I may want to start, I may have to demolish that. I may demolish both of these because I really need to get that bodyguard out of there because the barracks, while 1 and 4, is going to be something good for me to keep out there for me to be able to try and demolish it because it is worth, this is worth 4 if the AI does get it out there. Even though it's 4 points for him, when I am able to destroy it, I will get 4 myself. So when you destroy something of the AI or defeat it, you will get the points for the brass. So it's a good way. So I don't have any actual brass yet into my scoring pile, but that'll come in just a bit. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So we're going to have a contractor. So we're going to have 3. And we're going to have 3. So 3 and 3 is exactly what we needed for that bodyguard. So we'll go ahead and discard these. Take our 3 and 3, and we'll put our Dapper Bodyguard into our discard pile. We'll move everything over here. So pretty soon we'll start getting some of these good things in play, and that's when it'll really ramp up. So number 6, for them, for the AI, it'll grab the contractor, throw that over there, and it'll overturn there. So another 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so now we got some good things coming in here. Now, they cannot attack or mine the first time they come into play. So, we're going to go ahead and get both of these out into play. The Surging Kamikaze and the Chroniker. those are going to stay in play for us. Now, they can't do anything yet. They can't mine, which will be good when I can get them to mine. And when I do get that other building, that'll come into play. When they do mine, they'll get some more brass. So basically just a 2 and 1. Now, I may want to go ahead and see if I can get some more. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's get rid of one of these. Let's demolish that factory and we'll draw a card. And we drew our gumshoe. So let's draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Why not? Have some fun here. Let's see if we can get anything good. All right, so now we've got some choices here. So we ended up getting 3 and 2. Now, we can't really do anything with the 2 construct. But what we might do is we may try to get this into play. This is kind of part of our faction. So when we discard, we got to discard 2 cards. I think we're going to go ahead and discard 2 clerks. And then I'll go ahead and demolish this clockwork factory. And I will draw a card. And I got 2 labor. So that is enough. Maybe there's anything for 3 and 2. Nothing there for 3 and 2 that I want to get. But what I will do is I will go spend 2 and 2 to get the clockworks building this Malonian barracks I'll get it out. And I'll have 1 left to spend. And there's not really anything I want to grab. Actually, you know what? We'll just keep thickening up this. We'll just keep the train rolling. We'll spend our last 1 on that. And now we can mine with both of these since they just got out. I mean, they've been out. So I can mine for 3, 2, and 1. I can mine for that. And I'm going to get 3 myself. So finally on the board. Finally on the board with some. Let me move this over here so you can see how much money I've got. So I'm finally on the board there. So now the AI has 7. Let me get my cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 1 more card. So AI has 7. So when AI has 7, it has to look at a few things. So it'll determine what to do. It doesn't have any units yet, so we'll worry about that in a second when it does get units out. So now that it has 7 or more, it's going to require the rightmost employee card, which is the top row, and the rightmost design card, which is the bottom row. Now, the employee card will again go into the scoring pile, and the bottom row is going to go into play. So these are going to be able to help, and it'll kind of trigger from left to right to be able to either attack or mine if it is a unit. So we're going to go ahead and give the AI this. We'll leave this over here. And then it's also going to get this barracks. Now, these will all shift down 1. Now, the thing about Harlow's barracks is it is a 1-4. And again, it's going to give them AI 4 points. But it only has 4 life, so I'm going to have to try and attack it and get it down. It will do some damage back because it is barracks. Everything does damage back, even if it just comes out. So I have to watch. I've got enough things here. So I may, I'm not sure. I don't think I want to get rid of the kamikaze. I'm not sure if I want to dismiss it because it is removing it from the game and it is worth 4 points. I'd probably rather it attack and just take some of that damage and do damage right back. There's nothing that big that I can't handle. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and see what we've got here. All right, so I've got my last card here, shuffled up a little bit. All right, so now we've got that stockyard. Now this is going to, when I flip it, it'll help me mining, but I'm not going to be mining this turn. So we're going to put that at face down. And what we've got is a lot more construction again. So we've got 2 construction, 4 construction, 5 construction, and then I've got 2 labor. So we're going to wait on that. So we've got 2 labor and 5 construction. We can get this tank here. Let's just go ahead and grab this tank. 5-4, when this unit is destroyed, discard a card from your hand. But it's going to be good once I do get it out into play. So we'll go ahead and buy that. And we'll throw these over here, move everything down one. We certainly didn't want the AI getting that tank, thank God. Although it is going to get a pretty big unit. Whew, that's going to be tough next round. So we'll attack with the kamikaze, which will bring this down to 3 health. It'll take 1 damage back and be destroyed. And then I'm going to attack with the Chroniker. So it is going to do 2 attack and has 4. So it's going to be down to 3 because it'll take 1 damage back. And it's going to put the AI down to 1. Now that it's turned to the AI's turn. So the AI gets 1 per turn. However, it gets 1 per turn plus however many buildings it currently has in place. So now it's going to be getting 2 this turn. And like I said, it's going to now take this card in there. And it's going to put this magnetic generator in play, which is not great for me because it is 5 more victory points to AI, and it's going to be harder for me to get rid of. However, it will give me some good victory points once I do get it demolished. So, but that's going to be more brass that it's going to be able to take each turn. So now I'm going to turn this over, the stockyard. So I can either decide to attack and get that out of play for 4 brass, or I can go ahead and mine, which would give me 3 from this unit, but I'm probably going to go ahead and attack it this turn. But let's see what we got in our pile here. So we've got another factory. That's another building. I'll throw that face down. And we've got the gumshoe again. So let's get, we're going to put the bodyguard directly into play here. It cannot attack its first round, so that's fine. But we're going to do the draw 2 and discard 2. I've already got these 2 cards. Let's see what we got coming out. See if there's anything useful here. So we've got 1 construct and basically an employee with 1 labor. So I would basically be able to have 4. I think that's what we're going to do, is keep the 4 unless we can do something with 3 and 1. 3 and 1 doesn't really do much. So we'll go with, we're just going to keep 3. So we have 3. He's ready to discard 2 cards. So it keeps 3. And you know what? We're going to go ahead, since this is going to be right up our alley, because the scribe here, discard a card from your hand and draw 2 cards. That's going to be really good for us later. All right, so let's throw that into our discard pile. We'll flip one over here. And then we will attack with a Chroniker, who does 2 damage, and that'll take out the barracks, and that'll get us 4 brass for taking him out over here. And we're not able to do anything with these 2 because the stockyard is basically just a building, which doesn't do us anything. And the bodyguard will be able to be played next round. So I'll get my 5 cards. And then it's the AI's turn. So again, the AI can't attack with this, but it's still got a little bit of defense there. But it does have a building, so it's going to get 2 automatic brass, bringing it up to 10, 11. And then it's going to get this card into its scoring pile. And then also is going to get the motor pool into play. So now the motor pool is another building that's 1/4. Again, going to give it 2, but also going to help it to keep more victory points next round as well, which is going to be hard for me to get out because I'm only going to be able to do 5 points of damage, but I will be able to get one of those things out of there. All right, so back to me. So I've got the factory, which can get me another card. I've got another barracks. Whenever you play a unit, draw a card, but that can't be used till next round. And I've got a couple of clerks, and I've got another gumshoe. So let's use the gumshoe. We'll draw 2 cards, then we're going to have to get rid of 2 cards. So we've got basically just a whole lot of meh. So we've got 4 here. Let's see what we got in the play. Not really anything the AI is going to do a whole lot with. It's got another small building coming to play. I got to try not to let it get that steam cycle, but I don't have anything here. So I don't think I want to demolish this to get another card. It's not really going to help me all that much. So let's go ahead and just get rid of these 2 here. And that leaves me with 3 labor. And for 3 labor, I'm going to go ahead and grab this gear architect. What it'll do later, we're getting kind of later, not really late, so I may be able to use this once. If you have at least 3 constructed buildings, draw a card, and it'll get me 2 constructs. So that's going to help out a bit as well. All right, so we move everything over, and I'm going to have to shuffle as well. Also, the end of my turn here, what I'm going to do, now I can attack. I can do a total of 5 damage, so we'll just go ahead and do the 5 damage straight to the generator, which definitely helps, even though the generator will stay in its victory point pile, but I will get pretty much the even amount of victory points here because I'm going to get 6 for defeating that, and I won't take anything back. So that'll be 6 points there. And then, since that is a building, it's not going to attack at all. So now, the start of the AI's turn, it is going to get its 2 victory points right away for having that. It's going to take this into the pile. And again, this building will go into play. And it's worth 1 and 0-2. Just going to be more of a thing to get in my way. Like I said, a lot of times these solo games with deck buildings are just kind of a race to see if you're able to get the game done faster before the AI is able to ramp up and get a lot of victory points. Because right now we're tied with victory points, but honestly, I think the AI might have more victory points in its victory point pile than I've got in my deck. So I'm going to have to try and grab a few more cards to see if I'm able to win here. So let's grab 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3. And let's see what we've got here. All right, also I'll flip over this factory. So I've got the barracks now and a factory. I've got another factory that's coming out this round. We'll put that face down. And I'm going to have 2 and 3 in play. Now, I don't have a unit to play, so I won't get the ability of that. And let's see, so I could actually just mine with both of those, because that would get me 3 and 4 instead of attacking there. And that'll get me basically 7, and the AI is going to get 3 back itself instead of attacking those 2 units, because they're not going to get me a whole lot. I may try that, because I haven't really done a whole lot of that. And I have 2 labor here, and I've got 3 construct. So what do I want to do? So there's a couple of units over here that could be a little bit of a pain once they get into play. So what I may do is I may grab this for 2 and 2. I may grab this constable, and he'll go into my discard pile. And I've got 1 left. You know what? I may go ahead and grab the last gumshoe out of my pile because it's worth a victory point, and it only costs 1. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I will go ahead and mine with these 2 units. So that'll get me 4 and 3. Like I said, that'll get me 7. And there's not a whole lot left up here, because I did get that bonus. So normally it's 2 and 3, but I did get the 1 bonus every time I mine. So that's not too bad right there. So let's see what we've got with the AI here. So the AI doesn't have anything that can attack me because it just has buildings. So it's going to get its 3 victory points for having 2 buildings, 1 plus the 2 buildings. And then it's going to get its 1 victory point here, and it's going to get a unit into play now. Now, the unit cannot attack me, but it can possibly attack next round, and also could possibly mine if it doesn't want to attack me. It all depends on how the AI works. Because if I have more victory points, than the AI, it'll attack the mining platform first. Because if you don't have the mining platform, you cannot mine. And it only actually has 2 health, as you see there. And then you have to rebuild it, and it costs you 1 construct to get back into play. So I'm not going to worry too much about that, because I think I'm just going to destroy it this round anyway. So first thing we got to do is we got to flip this over. This looks like it's going to be close to the last round, and it may be the last round if I'm able to, which I should just probably mine and make it the last round. So let's go ahead and draw 2 cards. Let's go ahead and use the gumshoe, draw 2 cards, and discard 2 cards. All right, so not really that big of a deal. I did get the Panther tank, so I'm not going to put it in play again because I can't use it right away. So I can just go ahead and discard it. And I did get another clerk. So I'm going to try to use... I would be able to get this unit in play as well. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and mine and end the game. So I'm going to throw this out over here. I'm looking for some victory points. And what I'm going to have here is I'm going to have 2, 3, 4. I could actually, if I play a unit, I would be able to draw a card. Maybe I will play that. What I'll do is I'm going to actually play this unit out, and that'll allow me to draw a card. So I will discard this instead of that, and that'll allow me to draw a card. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and demolish this to draw a card, and then I'll demolish this other factory to draw another card. Since it is going to be the last turn, you might as well go out on a bang and try to see how much we can get. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 labor, 7 labor, and 2 construct. And we're basically going to try to get whatever we can. So 7 labor here gets me 4 victory points. This is actually 4 labor for 4 victory points. So let's do that. 4 labor, I've got 3. I've got 3 and 2 left. So let's see if there's anything we can do with 3 and 2. I don't see anything. There's a 2 and 1, which might be the best way to go. Yep, so that's going to be the best way to go. 2 and 1. And then I've got 1 and 1 left, and there's nothing else I can purchase. So then we're just going to go ahead and mine there with these 2 units. And that's going to get me 3 and 7. And I'll grab a couple more from the ones that are out of play. You use the kind of the extra ones that are out of play for the 7. So now I'm going to go ahead and add everything up and see what we've got. All right, so here we've got endgame there. The AI has 10, 20, 30, 47 points. And I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 64 points. So I end up beating 64 to 10, 20, 30, 47, 64 to 47. This kind of one of these things that happens when you can play the puzzle. And, you know, I was able to keep them just having units that weren't very big. I've gotten demolished by the AI when they get some good units out there that I can't do anything with, and they're just able to mine. So it's kind of a good little puzzle. Another one of these things where since you're shuffling up a lot, you can just kind of scrap everything and play it some more, use the different factions. I really enjoy Brass Empire as a solo game. So check this one out on Rock Manor Games. You can go to the geekallstars.com. You can find a nice affiliate link there. They sent me this for a review, but you can check out Rock Manor Games link that I've got there for a coupon code as well. When you use the link, you can get I believe it's about 10% off on all your purchases there. So definitely check this one out. I do enjoy this. Again, this is kind of a game that they put a second edition out and cleaned up a little bit of the rules. So I really think this is a decent one to check out. I'm a little picky on my solo games, but I do love deck building games, and this one does pass the test for me. This one I will be keeping in my collection to play it solo. So check this one out. That's another Dangent, and hope everybody has a good one. Check out the geekallstars.com and the Geek All Stars podcast.